So what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see businesses make with their social media accounts, especially some of these small businesses, the service-based businesses out there?
They all feel like QVC. They're all selling. And I understand why this is the case. And so I'm going to say something and it's probably going to ruffle some feathers and make somebody feel something. And that's what I'm called to do. I'm called to push you into inaction. I do not think that I'm a motivational speaker. I don't even think that I inspire people. I simply call it the truth and then people have to rectify. If I believe it's a truth, then I must change. And what it really comes back down to is, are you okay with what people think? That's it. The biggest mistakes boil down to, are you okay with what that 10th grade bully is going to say about that post? Are you okay with your mother-in-law is going to say? Are you okay with what your dad is going to say? Are you okay with your coworkers who know that you have a side hustle when they haven't told your boss and they see it and they're just kind of like waiting and watching? Are you okay with what they are going to say? Because at the end of the day, you must be consistent. And if all you're doing is running on social, buy my mug, and then you disappear, or, Cyber Monday comes around and there's Black Friday and you go and it's a bunch of just like promote, and then it goes silent. Or it's like you finally saved up enough from your Etsy sales and you sending your family on vacation for Disney. And so, of course, when you're living the high life, it's like a week of endless posts about you and Mickey and Minnie and life is great. And then it goes quiet until you have another sale for your mugs. That's devastating. You're not going to see results.
Yeah, no one wants to be sold to constantly.
Absolutely.
Now we're okay with it if you provide so much value that
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this and I want this because of that
I
trust.
there too.
Tell
I don't
me.
ever think that people are okay. Like I will say I believe in that 5%. I give 95% of everything I know in every which way. And when there is an opportunity for me to promote something, unfollow. Too much selling. You're talking about yourself. And I know in integrity, the math. And so I have to look and understand that I will not be for everybody. My objective when it comes to the business is to either attract people into my orbit or repel. And as business people, the greatest thing that you could do is to cut out the noise, people who are never going to buy from me anyway. So people say, I'm just unfollowing because you're talking too much about your business. Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.
Find the people who care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when and how should you use social media to make a profit? Because it sounds like there's a time and place for this. We're saying you can't sell all the time, but there is a time. How do you do that the right way?
Well, so very strategically, I like to put out moments of my cyclical business year in terms of promotions. And so if I know I'm going to be promoting during a particular time, I like to have a promotional launch runway. So it's going to be like a 4-week strategy, specifically when there's like an end of cart or like a closing cart, the like limited amount of seats or a time frame.
There's a sense of urgency.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For all types of promotions. So I have even used this promotional strategy when I had launched my podcast, because I knew that when you're asking somebody to do something, people feel like, now she's asking me. So there is a 4-week strategy. So week number 1 would be the warm-up sequence. This is when you're reminding your followers what it is that you do. And oftentimes people are like, no, they should know. Actually, they don't, because statistically, only 3% of your audience is actually seeing any organic posts. So you would have to say the same thing again and again and again and again to actually hit all of your audience. So you're going to be spending a week just reminding people what it is that you do and what makes you special and sets you apart. Your why, about you, about your team, what got you to start your business.
Pulling them into the story.
Absolutely. Then week number 2 is the nurture sequence. This is where you start applying pressure on their desired result. So you might be selling a mug, but people aren't buying a mug. They're buying a desired result. Did you like how my throat got caught there? Because I'm trying to play it off, and
so
it's like
emotional.
I literally had a brain fart. My brain could not keep up with my words. I was like, remix? Okay. So then week number 2 would be the nurture sequence. This is where you're applying pressure on that desired result. Week number 3, this isn't the offer. This is when you're going to come in and have a hard right hook without apologies. So during this time, during my podcast lunch, I was saying, please go and subscribe and leave a review. It was a very clear ask, and it was not for everybody. But in order to drive home what I wanted them to do, at the end of week 4, this is where you go into the closing sequence. I was having a contest during that time to say, if you want the last minute for this contest, it's by this date. That was the 4-week sequence. And I think that every business owner could absolutely use that. And we've provided tools and resources for them to stay aligned and to show up on social every single day following that strategy. And we have seen people get powerful results.